This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, myself Jagan. Welcome to SSB Technologies Oracle Fusion Financials training demo. Uh, 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 Today, I'm going to take you through a demo session for Oracle Fusion Financials. And before we start off the demo session, I'll give a brief introduction of myself. Yeah, as I said, my name is Jagan, and I am working into Oracle Fusion Financials for the past 13 years. And I have done various projects, kind of implementations and support projects. Yeah, I have good amount of experience in Oracle Fusion Financials. Well, I'll take you through this training session, and also I'll try to share the experiences and real-time scenarios wherever possible, so that you can gain a good amount of knowledge throughout this training sessions. So today we shall do kind of a demo session wherein I'll give you a brief introduction about Oracle financials, or what is Fusion, and what is ERP. Okay, so let's start off with the demo. And for today, the agenda will be to understand what is ERP. As we all understand, Oracle is an ERP. So let's first let's understand what is ERP, and then let's see what are the various ERP applications that are available in market. Saying that when I say various ERP applications, we'll not go through the there are several number of ERP applications that are available in market. We'll just try to look at a few applications which are famous, which are known, and we'll try to understand, and we'll try to relate what is ERP. And then we will understand what is Oracle, which is the core concept for this training. And then how the Oracle is made up of, what is the architecture. And then now right now the buzzing word is cloud. Everything, whatever, any software, any technologies, or any services industry, everything is moving on to cloud. Today the word is the buzzing word is cloud. Everyone is talking about digitalization, everyone is talking about cloud computing, cloud, everything. So let's understand first what is cloud, and what is cloud compute, what are the various kinds of models that are available in cloud. And then let's relate how Oracle is connected to this Oracle cloud finance, to this cloud. And in this cloud, what are the various modules that are available, what is fusion architecture. And our prime focus, or our motto for this training is Oracle financials. In that, Oracle has several versions like e-business suite, 11i, R12, and then the latest being Fusion. Again, in Fusion we have several versions, the latest being R13, and in that also there are several versions, and right now we are into 21D. So let us see what is Oracle Fusion, what is its architecture, and then we will understand what's on-prem and what is cloud. Cloud, anyways, we are going to see in the previous slide. I have told you that there is 2 points to understand what is cloud computing and what are various kinds of cloud models, and then we will understand how this cloud is different to our on-premise models. On-premise meaning till date, anyone and everyone, any organization, any software that is being used is on premises. On premises meaning we have our databases, we have our software, we have our application, everything installed in our premise, and we connect within the network in the premise, and then we start working on this software and applications. The same is now different with the cloud. How this is different and what is cloud, yeah, in the going forward in the session we'll try to understand that. And this point is basically how different is the on-premise setup versus cloud setup. So that's what we will understand. And then if you are already into the Oracle space, and if you know e-business suite, then we have included a couple of points for you to understand what are the changes between e-business suite to cloud. as we all know, as I have already told that right now the buzzing word is cloud, and even the Oracle has moved on to cloud. And our prime focus, which we are going to learn going further, the financials, even this is also available on cloud. Saying that yes, even it is available on premise as well. On premise, we call this as e-business suite, and when we come to the cloud, we call this as Fusion. Okay, so already the people who are into the, if you are into Oracle space, and if you are already working on e-business suite, then this is for these people to understand what is the difference between e-business suite and e-business suite and Fusion. Of course, this will be helpful to the people who don't know Oracle, whether it is on premise or whether it is cloud. And if you are a starter, and you are trying to start your career in Oracle space, that too in financials, for you also, you can understand what is e-business suite and what is cloud. But people who are an e-business suite and who are already have some experience on you, they can easily connect, and this will be more useful to them. Okay, and then the next point will be what kind of projects in Oracle Fusion. Yeah, if you are choosing a career into Oracle, and that too into Oracle Fusion Financials, so yes, you have started the training, you have learned the training, and you will start applying for your jobs. Or if you are already working in e-business, you'll try to move into projects on Fusion. Yeah, for those people who have already experienced, yeah, they will understand what kind of projects that are available in Oracle space. And for those who are starting new to this Oracle space and who wants to learn Oracle financials, yeah, for them it is helpful to understand what kind of work they can expect once they learn this, and once they start applying for jobs, and when they land in jobs and start working, it's good to know what kind of projects or what kind of work you can expect going forward. And then, okay, fine, now you have learned Oracle, you have learned Oracle Fusion Financials, you know what are the projects that are available, and you have landed in a job, you have got a project. Then what are the roles you can expect? Again, for those, if you are a first time learning this course, for you, yes, what kind of roles that are available, that I'll give you a brief explanation about that. And for the people who are already experienced and who are already working on the e-business suite and trying to and are planning to move to Oracle Cloud Financials or cloud space, yeah, for them, yes, they will already know the roles that are available. It's more or less the same roles. Only difference is we call now cloud consultants or fusion consultants, if you are working on cloud or fusion projects. Otherwise, yeah, the roles will remain same. It's a functional consultant and technical consultant, and going forward, we can discuss more in detail. And then the last but not least point is course curriculum. As we are doing just a demo session today, and this demo session is mainly focusing on, you know, what is Oracle space, what are the things you can expect out of this Oracle Fusion Financials, and what is the Oracle Fusion Financials, and what is the cloud, and all these things. And then just to give you a gist of the technology software and what you're going to expect is the demo session. And once this demo session is done, yes, this is a course curriculum in detail. What you learn in Oracle Financials is what tells you this course curriculum. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our next topic. I mean, let's start our agenda, starting with what is ERP. Okay, now we might have, or you might have heard this name, or if you haven't heard also, that's okay, no problem. I'll try to explain. ERP. What is ERP? Before understanding the word ERP, one should understand a business model or a company or an industry, how an industry works, how a business works, or how an industry or how a company works. When I say how a company works or how a business works, you don't have to understand everything. It's just what are the basic structure of an industry, what all things that are required to run a business, things required to let's jot down few points. Things are required to run a company. What all things would you require to start a company and to run a company? Let's jot down few points. Yes, I need people to run the company. People, uh, uh, yeah, people, and then I need a marketing department who manages marketing. Say if the company is a manufacturing. So whatever I have manufactured, this needs to be marketed and this needs to be sold. Only then I'll get profits and I can sustain this company. So I need people to manufacturing things. I need people to marketing, which means I need to have a department as marketing. When I say people, I can call this department as HR, Human Resources Department. Similarly, marketing is a department, and then I need to have another department called financials. With financials is a department who manages financials, say everything, right from day one. What are the expenses you are incurring in making this product or buying the raw material, and what are the profits you are making, or what are the revenues you are making out of selling your product. Everything is managed as part of financials. This is another department that is required. Okay, people, marketing, financial, like this you can keep on writing. Depending upon the industry, you can call another department as CRM, customer relationship management. If you are into a services industry, say a bank, you would require customer relationship management, where on a day-to-day basis you need to contact your customers, and you need to maintain the faith of your customers. For that you need to maintain the details of your customers. For that you require another department called CRM. And then you also require another department called manufacturing, wherein as I said, if you are manufacturing goods, yes, you require a department as manufacturing, or a shop floors wherein you actually manufacture the products. Yeah, like this you can keep on writing, depending upon a company, or depending upon the industry, or depending upon the business. You can keep on writing several. Say if it is a real estate company, wherein if it is a real estate company, which means they do projects, meaning say they are constructing dams, they're constructing roads, they're constructing buildings. Everything is a project. Now apart from they might not require manufacturing, but they require here, if it is a real estate, they don't require a manufacturing, but they do require projects, which meaning they need to create projects. They need to track projects right from starting till end. They need to track what all the material they have purchased for this project, at what stage this project is, and how many people are employed in completing each and every stage of this project. And you might be buying raw materials against each project to track the expenses for each project, and to track the revenues for each project. Yeah, you need a separate department. And now when I say procuring raw materials, almost any company or any organization, you would require another department called procurement, wherein you procure the raw material, whether you call it a raw material or whether you call it a stationery. Say if it is a bank, you need to procure a stationery, meaning in the form of printers, in the form of laptops, or in the form of paper, etc. If you are into real estate company, you need to procure raw material in the form of cement. You need to procure raw materials in the form of iron, etc., etc. If you are into manufacturing, depending upon the goods you are manufacturing, you need to procure several kind of materials. And while procurement, which you need to store somewhere, which I call it as inventory. So this I can call another department in an organization, in a business, or in any setup. So say when I basic I have only put few like this. Depending upon the industry, we might have from starting from one department to several departments, depending upon the industry, company, or any organization. So putting together, we we need in order to successfully run a company, we need all these departments. Let's take this as an example. Say let's take an example of a manufacturing company, and we need all these departments. So now how do we relate now ERP? I'm calling ERP. E is enterprise. Enterprise is nothing but your company. Company, another word for company or organization, we call it as enterprise. Now, R, what is R? R is resources. Oh, when I say resources, all these are resources. People are a resource. Now, marketing department is a resource. Inventory, the materials whichever I procure is a resource in running my company. So everything is a resource for me. Financials, I need money for running my day-to-day operations. I need money for procuring materials, and I need strategies. Everything, all these departments put together, I call them as resources. And P stands for planning. So P stands for planning. Now, what is ERP? Put together, enterprise resource planning. For an enterprise is having several resources. These are to be planned properly in order to successfully run this organization. So this is called as ERP. Now, how this ERP relates to software industry? In good olden days, everything, when there is no computer, when there is no software, everything is being maintained on books and paper. But now, in today's world, yes, technology has advanced so very well that everything being maintained in the form of computers. The data is being stored, and that data will be pulled in the form of reports, which will be helpful for you for your planning. So it's made so simple and easier. One ERP can maintain all these departments in one ERP, or several. It's not restricting only to these departments. It can be several departments work. If you purchase and install one ERP, it's good enough to maintain all these departments, meaning you buy one software wherein it gives a scope to manage all these departments. And all these departments, okay, this is called ERP. Apart from ERP, if there might be companies, or still there are several organizations where who doesn't have ERP. So how do they manage? They manage by having island systems or independent systems, or for managing people, they'll have one HR system. For managing marketing, they will have another system. For managing financials, they might have Tally. Or they might not have any CRM system. Say if we take an example of a government organization, again, say electricity department, they might not be having any CRM. They maintain their customer data somewhere, and they don't have a proper they might not have some proper system wherein on a month on basis it sends reminders to your customers. Or if someone defaults in paying electricity bills, they get a message on their phone. I mean, I'm talking about good old days, but right now, yeah, softwares are being procured and being installed, and even they are managing to use all these softwares. Otherwise, in good olden days, nothing used to happen. You receive a bill, and then you need to go to the bill payment office, and you have to make a bill payment. Else, maybe in next month or the following month, someone will come and disconnect your electricity connection. So now what is happening is, someone buys the CRM as a module, and all your customer data is maintained. If you don't pay your bills, yes, there you will get reminders. And before paying bills on and your due dates, everything will be reminded for you. So this as a CRM can be maintained as an independent module. you can buy, there are several softwares available for CRM, several software available financials. Yeah, there might be companies using several independent softwares, and then you'll have to integrate all these softwares to pull data in order to for you to make a proper planning, or for you to understand where as an organization you stand in terms of your financials reporting, or in terms of your profits, etc., etc. But ERP is one software in which all these modules are available. Okay, you just have to buy one ERP software which gives you access to all these modules, which is internally integrated, which is seamlessly integrated, it can which is interconnected between all these departments, and just people, and this needs to be implemented as per the need and choices of the organization, and people can start inputting the day-to-day transactions into the software, and they can pull reports, and this is helpful. So that's how ERP came into existence, meaning in earlier days, for each department we have to manage several softwares instead, which is a costly affair. Imagine a company is having, like, say in this scenario we are having 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 departments. Okay, for 8 9 departments, if you start using 8 or 9 different softwares, meaning you need to buy different softwares, and you need to maintain databases for 8 or 9 different softwares, and you need to maintain support staff, IT staff for 8 9 different departments, and then you need to manage the database departments, and all these needs to be interconnected. For this, how costly this is. But now everything is managed, can be managed through one software, one ERP software. So that's the benefit of having ERP. So organizations are moving to ERP. Many organizations have already moved to ERP, and in ERP also there are several ERPs are available. Some ERPs are good in some areas, and some ERPs are good in different areas, and some ERPs are good in all areas, meaning in all departments. So depending upon organizations are moving into these ERPs, by which they can rely, leverage on this software, and they can substantially save or cut costs on their IT departments, and they can have a proper outlook about their business. They can make proper reports for planning. They can make planning in terms of sales, or planning in terms of resources, and thereby they can make proper decisions, and thereby they can achieve their goals. So how key these ERPs are in organizations. Say you call software industries, Infosys, TCS, every organization uses this ERP. You look into the manufacturing industries, say Tata Motors, yes, they do use an ERP. It depends what ERP they use. Any organization, yes, today is a scenario without ERP, no organization can survive. Else, I mean, yes, they can survive, but their peers will overtake them, because ERP gives them leverage in many areas, in many ways, and they can plan well ahead, and they can execute their decisions well ahead by using the ERPs, and they can get into good profitable position. Hence, almost any organization in current day scenarios are moving to ERPs if they are on a different legacy systems. Yeah, though there might be some organizations who might be using several ERPs, even these people are slowly starting to move into one big ERP. So yes, in today's scenario, without ERPs, no company or organization can survive. I mean, they cannot prosper. Okay, this is a brief introduction about ERP. Yeah, what is ERP? Okay, this slide shows you whatever I have explained right now. that's what is a pictorial representation. Say ERP as a software enterprise resource planning module, and what are the various applications that can be that are part of this ERP? Production, yeah, how you make production, on what quantity of production you need to make for this month, yeah, that can be planned. And say if you are planning to say if I give an example of a car manufacturer, depending upon demand, he will plan, okay, for this month I need to plan as per the demand in the market, as per the marketing department analysis, as per the CRM department analysis, this is the demand. I need to manufacture, say 10,000 cars for this month. Okay, for 10,000 cars, what is the raw material? How I need to procure? Everything can be done by using this production or manufacturing module, a part of this ERP. Say if you are running out of your inventory, automatically this module gives you alerts stating that, yeah, your inventory is going down, you need to procure, otherwise you cannot survive, or your inventory is available only for to the next 5 days or 10 days, beyond which you cannot run manufacturing. So you'll have to, okay, if I have to procure, say I have inventory only for 5 days, and from sixth day I need a raw material. So yeah, if I place an order, it will take time for the raw material to come. So how many days in advance I need to make this procurement? Even that you can decide by using ERPs. And then human resources, yeah, in today's scenario, in the today's corporate world, you can see people come and go. And when you have people are need to be put into several departments. Say an organization, if we take an example of an organization, say like Reliance will have, like, thousands and thousands of employees. How do they maintain all this employee data? How do they maintain who is where, which person is working in which city, or in which village, or in which state, and what are his details, and what is his payroll, and how what is his salary, and like this, several details needs to be maintained regarding that person. How many leaves he needs to take, how many leaves are available for this guy, if he has traveled, how to maintain his expenses and everything. So human resources part of ERP will help you to manage and maintain all these details. Similarly, finance, what are your expenses, what are your profits and revenues, everything with regards to expenses or revenues or expenses. And what say again, when we talk about say if I give you an example of a telecommunications or telephone industry, they might be having cell towers. How many cell tower? Each cell tower, I can call it as an asset. Okay, now where all these assets are placed, they need to have an information. And if we take an example of say retail giants, retail, or say Amazon, they are selling products online. When we make payments every day, thousands and thousands of customers are making payments to Amazon. As an just I'm quoting this as an example, thousands and thousands of people are making payments. So how do I track all these payments on a daily basis? How am I receiving? Yeah, there are several ways of payment methods through which the payments are going into my bank accounts. I mean, when I say my, into the Amazon's bank accounts. And how do we track? How do we see against which order this payment has come? Okay, all the payments are have hit the bank account or not? How do we do everything? These kind of reconciliations we can do through finance and accounting. And where all my again, if it is a telecommunication, it's not just for a matter of telecommunications. Any industry, they will have several assets. So I'm just quoting telecommunications as an example. So if telecommunications, cell towers are their assets. So where all the cell towers are placed, I need to maintain details of the cell towers, and I need to depreciate all my assets. So all this information I do it in as part of financials. And then Yes, if I'm a manufacturing organization, I need to procure raw materials on a daily basis. I need to procure raw materials. So when I'm procuring raw materials from my vendors, I need to make payments. These payments, how do I make these payments? Manually I cannot do. I need to do this through a software which is very well integrated, so I can do this through finance and accounting part. And then receipts. Okay, again let's go to the example of Amazon. Amazon is selling products on a daily basis. Okay, whenever we finish the buying part on the immediately we receive a receipt, meaning when I make the payment, I receive an invoice, and against that invoice I receive a receipt as well. So Amazon, I mean any industry who are selling products, they need to bill the customer. Billing customer meaning they need to send an invoice to the customer. Against that invoice, they need to make a receipts for the customer. So this can be managed automatically as part of financials and accounting. So in short, yes, financials and accounting is a very core area of any ERP. In the same way, sales, if I keep on talking, yes, any organization will have n number of departments, and every department will have its own functions, which is very key in managing, in growing that organization. So yeah, in order to manage all these functionalities, we need to have a good ERP. Now, as I said, accounting is there, production is there, human resources is there, inventory management is there, CRM, sales, marketing. So how are these interconnected? Yes, ERP platform provides this inbound. This as an inbound integrated, you know, connectivity across all these modules. Meaning, say in human resources, as part of human resources, I am making payment to any employee, that will be available as part of financials. Yes, if I'm making payment instance salary at the end of the month, that will automatically move the information to finance and accounting, wherein finance and accounting will track all these details. So same way, production as part of manufacturing, if you are procuring any raw materials, you need to make payments. That payments will be done through finance and accounting. How they make these payments? On what basis they make these payments? They will receive purchase orders from production or procurement department, and against the purchase orders, against the invoices they have received from vendors, they make payments through financial. So in this way, what I am trying to say is every department can be integrated, is well connected within an ERP. So this gives a great advantage to any organization which is using an ERP. And as I already said, in today's world, without an ERP, you cannot imagine an organization. And you can happily say that if an organization is not using proper ERP, then they are not in the race. Then they cannot achieve their goals. In this fast-paced world. And other best part of any ERP is reporting. You can develop or you can produce reports online at the very moment. Any report you want, if say it a P&L, profit and loss, balance sheet, anything, in a matter of time you can develop and you can produce reports. So basically this is how an ERP, this is what is an ERP and how this ERP helps an organization. Hope you guys have understood what is an ERP. This is a very elaborate discussion about ERP. So let's see, go further. The same thing, what is an ERP? Have written some description here. What is an ERP? ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning, utilizing and recording the day-to-day activities of various resources of an enterprise like finance, HR, manufacturing, supply chain services, procurements, and others. In nutshell, ERP is an integrated software system of various business activities like purchasing. You do purchasing, you store inventory, in order to know how much of raw materials available in my inventory, CRM, customer relationship management, finance, HR, etc. Records data, thereby providing multi-dimensional analytics and reporting. ERP helps in improving organizational operational efficiency, helps in better planning through analytics and reporting. So this is how this is what is ERP, and this is how an ERP helps an organization. So by now you might have understood the importance of an ERP. Now let's see some ERP applications that are available in the market. Again, these I have if I have to put on the available ERPs, I mean this slide will not be sufficient, or this session might not be sufficient. There are n number of ERP applications that are available in market. Few are SAYS. SAYS is a financials ERP. Apart from financials, yes, they do have other modules also, like CRM, sales management, purchasing. JD Edwards also have several other modules, but they are famous for manufacturing. SAYS is a low-cost ERP. They are mostly they're very good in finance, and also, of course, they also provide different other modules. Microsoft Dynamics, and then Oracle e-business suite. And apart from this, yes, there are several other ERP modules also, like PeopleSoft, which is famous for HRMS, Siebel, which is famous for customer relationship management. And saying that they are very strong in those areas, but they do provide several other modules also. And now, when we come to the Oracle, I am talking here, I have put here as an e-business suite. I haven't put with regards to Fusion or Cloud, because Fusion and Cloud we are going to deal in separate going forward. Hence, I have put it in only Oracle e-business suite. Oracle e-business suite, or Oracle, is strong, very, very strong in financials. Yes, of course, saying that they are not lagging behind in any other modules. They are also as good as financials, and Oracle provides several other modules. I mean, like 200, 300 or more than that the modules are available that can be used across industries, across organizations as part of their ERP systems, like supply chain management, financial management, project management, customer relationship management, but they are very, very strong in financials. And when you say SAP, they are very strong in sales and distributions. So like this, several ERPs are available, and Oracle is one among them, and Oracle is a market leader. So our focus will be on Oracle. And then what is Oracle? The next point is okay, now for those who are already into Oracle space, yeah, they do understand. And for the benefit of for the people who are planning to move into Oracle, a brief description about what is Oracle. Oracle is a software corporation that was started in 1980s. They have started as a database. They have started this organization where they wanted to develop a database. Database is nothing but to store the data. They started this as a database, and then slowly they developed this database has got developed into RDBMS, and various versions of this database has come up. They have improved the structure of this database, and in order alongside the database, they have also started SQL, a structured query language, in order to query the data and in order to push the data into these databases. That's the language. SQL is the language that is being used. Okay, Oracle has started. Oracle is nothing but a database. In short, we can say the Oracle or corporation started with databases, and then as and when they have grown, they started slowly started developing software applications as well. Database, again, you understand, right? What is database? Database is a backend system where all the data goes and sits into the database. Anytime you want information, you can pull the data from the database and you can work on that, and you can develop reports in order to understand. So that is a database. In order to put the data into the database, you need front-end screens. where you can input the information. So once you input this information in some screens or in some front end interfaces, through this data goes and sits into the database. Now what Oracle has started is slowly they started developing this front end screens as well. They have started on with the COBOL, C++, the very nascent technologies they have started. They have started developing these screens, and they have started some applications as part of Oracle. Slowly, the technology has changed. The several advanced technologies have came in, and slowly Oracle has also started acquiring various organizations, say like Java, softwares like Java, etc. And then they developed a proper software applications, which they called it as an e-business suite. This e-business suite started from 11i. 11i is nothing but a version somewhere in post 2000s and to early 2000s and 2000s. This 11i was there, which got developed into R12. They have brought in several changes into the 11i applications. Look and feel got changed, and they have some advanced changes were brought into this 11i, and they changed it into R12. From R12, R12 is nothing but we call it as an release 12, and this R12 and 11i including, we call them as e-business suite. E-business suite, when you say suite, a suite is nothing but it's a set of applications. There are n number of applications. You name the business area, there is an application for it. So this is how slowly, starting from database, this is how the Oracle has grown into. No, Oracle, we call it as Oracle database, Oracle applications. Now, our prime focus is on Oracle applications. That too, in the n number of applications that are available in Oracle, the prime focus is Oracle financials. Imagine any organization without finance. You cannot, you can't name one organization or a business without a finance. So finance will be always a core part of any business. Name it a bank without a finance. Yes, without manufacturing, a bank doesn't require manufacturing, but bank requires a finance. A manufacturing organization, they do require finance. Any like this, you can name any organization, they require finance. So we will talk about financials. So slowly Oracle has started acquiring Java. They have acquired PeopleSoft. They have acquired JD Edwards, like this. So, several products Oracle has acquired, and then they developed by taking all these technologies or advanced concepts from all these softwares they have acquired. They have taken some very good parts of these all these softwares, and they developed a new software called Fusion applications. Meaning from R12, Oracle has moved on to Fusion. Fusion is nothing but it's a mixture of several softwares they have acquired. PeopleSoft, as we have spoken in earlier slides, PeopleSoft is a leader in HRMS applications. So they have acquired the concepts of this PeopleSoft and put into the Oracle applications. JD Edwards, who is a leader in manufacturing, they have acquired JD Edwards, and they have put the concepts, or taken the concepts, core concepts, are very good concepts from JD Edwards, and they have put into the Fusion applications. Similarly, Hyperion is a planning module. Planning and budgeting. Hyperion is a market leader in planning and budgeting, and as-based cubes for saving the data in various dimensions and providing the reports. Hyperion is a leader. So Oracle has acquired Hyperion and involved this Hyperion into the Fusion. Like this, several softwares they have, and their core software is e-business suite. So they have put e-business suite, they have pulled Java, they have pulled PeopleSoft, JD, etc., etc. They have put together and made it into a Fusion. Now, Oracle has started as a database, and they moved on to the Fusion application, the latest being Fusion. Saying that alongside Fusion, yes, there are several customers who are still on R12 or e-business suite, and the current word is cloud or Fusion. this fusion is being moved on is on cloud, so the current word is cloud. And Oracle, yes, started a little behind Amazon cloud or Microsoft cloud or other clouds. They are little behind, but now Oracle has moved paces and caught up with the competition, and Oracle is now one of the leaders in cloud space. Yeah, in cloud, what do the Oracle offers as part of applications? Yes, Fusion is the application, and in Fusion we will talk about financials. And also Oracle provides database from nascent database technologies. They have moved on to the very high versions or latest technologies they have imbibed into the database, and Oracle also provides database. One benefit of this Oracle ERP is, yes, Oracle provides applications. Alongside, Oracle also provides database, meaning both products come from Oracle. There are several ERP softwares in the market which don't have their own databases, but Oracle is one software which provides database as well as its own applications. That's another benefit of being an Oracle. There are several softwares which provides front-end applications, but they don't have a database. No, how do they store the data through these applications? These softwares use the database of Oracle. So Oracle has this advantage in market, wherein Oracle uses its own database as well as its own applications. So in short, this is a brief description of what is Oracle, how the Oracle is started, and how the Oracle moved till now. So these are a few lines which were written. You can go through these lines. And the next one is Oracle architecture. How this Oracle applications, Oracle database, etc., we are talking, and how this Oracle architecture is made up of. See, if you see the first square, there are three squares or three rectangles in this box. One is sorry. First rectangle is a client interface. Client interface, nothing but users sitting somewhere using their laptops, desktops, through browsers or through mobiles. These are the user interfaces. People use these user interfaces to input the data. Now this data goes and sits into the last rectangle is nothing but the Oracle database. How this data, so here I am inputting the data. This data is sitting into the database. There should be some connectivity, right, between the interface and the database. How this data is going and sitting into the database. For that, Oracle has some middleware services in the form of web services, form services, servers, admin servers, etc. These services takes the data from the front end applications and puts it into the database. Say, when a client or a user inputs the data. Similarly, if the client or user wants to pull the data from this database, again, when you run a report on this interface, whether it is on a laptop using through this browser or a phone or whichever the user interface it is, again these services will kickstart, will go to the this database and process the data in this database and brings back this database and this data from this database and puts on this front end applications, displays in the form of a report. These databases have raw data which through these services we process this data and bring it back in the form of reports. So these are the front end applications, these are the middleware applications, and this is a database. Basically I can call it as a three-tier architecture. First tier is front end applications, second tier being the middleware, and the third tier being the database. Each has its own importance. This is basically how Oracle is made up of. Oracle provides applications for the businesses or the users to input the data, and this data is processed by using these middlewares, and through this the data goes and sits into the databases. So this is a, as I said, this is a three-tier architecture. Now, okay, we understood what is an ERP. We understood what are the various kinds of modules or ERP applications that are available. as an examples to understand ERP, and then we drill down to the Oracle, which is our prime focus area for this demo and training, and what is the architecture of the Oracle, and then let's understand cloud. Next, the buzzword is cloud. What is cloud? Yeah, everywhere in today's world, this pandemic has given many this corona, because of the pandemic, the world is seeing a lot of difficulties. But one thing this pandemic has helped is there is a lot of demand in cloud space. Every organization, every business, because of working from remote, every organization is moving into cloud. No one is planning to maintain their businesses on the on-premise, because people cannot go to the workplaces and maintain their data centers, or people cannot go to workplaces in order to input the data or day-to-day works. Everyone is now working remote, so all the organizations, many organizations, there is a huge demand. People are trying to move on to the cloud. So right now, today, the buzzing word is cloud. So what is cloud? Cloud is nothing but, okay, I'll take one step back, and let's understand how the businesses used to work. Now, any organization or any company, when they purchase a software, or when they purchase an ERP, and when they start working on this ERP or software, what they need to purchase is, they need to purchase servers, they need to purchase databases, they need to purchase software licenses, they need to purchase laptops, desktops, etc. For their users, business users. They need to install a networking in order to connect to the servers, database, and the desktops and laptops, etc. They need to get high broadband internet accesses. They need to develop if the organization is not restricted to one city, and it is present across state, or across country, or across countries. So they need to develop proper network, wherein this network is only utilized within the organization, and this is not any public domain. As the company cannot put this or cannot expose this on a public domain. So people have to work within that network. In order to work within that network, people have to go to the offices, have to sit in the offices, connect to the network, and start working. So this is how a traditional, or till now, the businesses, how the businesses or organizations works in their IT spaces. Now, when we move on to the cloud, what is cloud? Now, in the cloud, any organization or business, they don't have to maintain their servers and databases. So how the servers and databases, when I say then they don't have to maintain servers and data, then where do they get this from? Now, there are organizations which they call themselves as data centers. They host, they maintain several databases, which they make virtual databases, and the main word is nothing but Amazon Web Services or Amazon Cloud. What they do is, they make several virtual databases, and these databases are provided for all the organizations. So there will be some a database or a data center that will be set up. Maybe for whole of India, there might be one data center, and there might be a data center in Middle East. There might be a data center in London, which covers whole of UK and some parts of Europe. There might be a data center in US, which covers the entire US. So, meaning, say in New York, there is a data center wherein they put several servers and databases, and they make virtual servers, and they give access to the organizations. Now, what the organization have to do? Networking, and then everything will be maintained by these data centers. They provide connection or access to organizations who wants to use these databases, which means, now as an organization, if I want to go to an ERP, or if I want to purchase any software, I just need to pay amount for the duration, or for the duration I want to use, or for the amount of data I want to use. Depends, there will be several parameters. Okay, now I purchased. say I want to use this software for 10 years. Okay, for 10 years, and these are and my users are 100. Accordingly, there will be several metrics. That's a different area of work again. As per the metrics, the calculations will be made, and licenses will be bought. And what the business has to do is just log in, open the Chrome, put in the link, URL, and log in with your user credentials and start working. That's it. Yeah, of course. Prior to this, as per the needs of the organization, they need to implement the application, but they don't have to maintain the servers on their premises. They don't have to maintain networking on their premises. Like this, they don't have to maintain support staff for these data centers, as these data centers are being managed elsewhere remotely, and we are connecting to these data centers over internet, accessing these applications over internet, and we are processing. Security, you don't have to worry about the security is also very well managed by these data centers. So in short, cloud is nothing but somewhere remotely all these databases, applications, everything is being managed somewhere remotely over the internet. The business or organizations connects to these databases, and we start working, and we start putting information into the application, which goes and sits into the databases. We will retrieve whenever we want, we will retrieve this data, and we work accordingly. So this is what is cloud. So cloud computing is an application-based software infrastructure that stores data on remote servers, which can be processed and accessed through the internet. It uses a software middleware to ensure seamless connectivity between devices/computers. So basic to understand cloud is we connect to the database or servers over the internet, wherein we don't have to manage the data. Imagine how cost efficient this model is. Now if an organization has to buy an ERP, cloud ERP, which means they just have to buy licenses. That's it. They have to buy the licenses for using this, and then they need to have a vendor who has to implement as per their needs. That's it. They don't have to buy any servers. They don't have to have a support staff for managing these servers, etc. So in this way, this becomes very cost efficient, and they don't have to worry about the security, and they don't have to worry about the network. Anywhere across the globe you can sit and access. The only thing is you need to have the URL and user ID login credentials. You can access it from anywhere across the globe. It's not that you have to go to the office and connect within the network and access the application. So cloud brings in all these advantages. Now, okay, we understood what is cloud. There are several. Then let's see the cloud models. There are several cloud models. Again, when I say cloud, people you might get doubt that what is the privacy. When a data center is being maintained, say in New York for the entire US, or say in Mumbai there is an data center for entire India. So several organizations across India or several organizations across US might be accessing the data center. So how well my data is guarded? So there are several models in cloud called private cloud, public cloud, etc. When I say or a hybrid cloud. When I say public cloud, Gmail will be a best example. Gmail is a public cloud. Everyone can access a Gmail. Private cloud is wherein you will have your own space. If it is a Gmail, yes, everyone has their accounts in Gmail. Everyone connects to that across globe. There is no restriction. When I say private cloud, yeah, people will have access. Say if I have purchased a private cloud, that space is available only to me, not to anyone else. But if you take an example of a Gmail, everyone and anyone, just they need to create an email ID. Everyone and anyone can use this Gmail. So that's a public cloud. And there might be a model of hybrid wherein some part is private and some part is public. So accordingly, the security will be available. say when I say Gmail is on a public cloud, is there any security labs? Can we see any security labs? Can anybody peep into my Gmail or my emails on the Gmail? Or can I peep into your emails of your Gmail ID? No. Accordingly, there is security. But depending upon, say, some countries might have very stringent rules stating that no, you cannot put your data on a public more platform. So in that scenarios, people go for private cloud. Again, depends upon their requirements. Okay, this is about how the cloud will be available, and then what are the models that are available. Cloud services, say cloud services is nothing but say, a database data center which hosts the your databases and applications and everything, and this provides access in the form of SaaS, PaaS, or IaaS. When I say SaaS, we call this as a software as a service, meaning I can give very good example is Gmail, wherein you access Gmail, you create your user login credentials, you access your email space, you send emails, you receive emails, and you log off. Which is this is just an example for you to understand. Okay, SaaS. This we call as SaaS. So if I'm using Oracle Financials application, I'll just have my login credentials. I will log into it. I will input my data. I'll retrieve my data, and I'll log off. That's it. I'm not worried of anything else. Only I'm worried, whatever I'm worried is my application, how I input data, how I retrieve data. That is SaaS. And next is PaaS. This is one step ahead. Yes, in this you do get SaaS, wherein to access your applications and input data. Alongside, you also get a chance to build or develop any other customizations, or if you want to develop some software, you can do that through PaaS. If you want to build or develop any service, for that you need a PaaS. If you don't have to build or develop anything, then SaaS is sufficient for you. And IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Alongside SaaS and PaaS, if you also want to maintain the infrastructure meaning your networking or your databases, etc. If you want to maintain these as well, then you will have to go for IaaS model. So depends upon the requirement you want to use. You have three models. One is SaaS, one is PaaS, and the other one is IaaS. So SaaS, what is? You'll just have a login credentials. You log in, you'll access data, you'll input data. PaaS, you also get access for making sound developments. But again, in PaaS, you will not have, database will not be there with you. You'll not have complete access on database. You'll only get platforms to make your developments, but not complete access to your databases. In IaaS, yes, you get access to your databases as well. So these are different models. Again, depending upon the requirement, customers can choose three different models in cloud: SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Yes, this SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, this is very important. Why we are discussing about SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS? This is important. When we talk about Oracle Financials or Oracle ERP, yeah, every organization has to choose among these models, whether they want to go for SaaS. Say, if you talk about a bank, yeah, a SaaS should be sufficient for a bank. Again, this is just an example, because a bank needs a backend software, backend ERP, and a front-end application. When you walk into a state bank, or any other bank in India, or a HDFC, any other bank in India, they have, if you see, when you deposit amount, they use a software that is not Oracle. That's a banking software. So they make all the transactions in banking software, and at the end of the day, from banking software, all the information should go and sit into the Oracle ERP. So they in Oracle ERP, so all they need is integration between a banking software and Oracle application. That's it. They don't have to make any major developments. So for them, SaaS should be sufficient. In SaaS model is sufficient, wherein they log in, they input data, they process data, they integrate data, and from where they make several reports. Say apart from this, if they say no, this is not sufficient for us, we need to make some developments. In that case, they can go for a PaaS model alongside SaaS. And some banks very particular about security. They go and say, no, 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 we cannot host our servers elsewhere. We need complete access of our servers and databases. In that case, they can go for IaaS. So as per the need and requirement of the customers or businesses, they'll go for SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Yes, as part of Oracle Financials, we'll have to look at which model we are working on is very important. Whether we are working on a SaaS, accordingly, our work will be there. If it is a PaaS, yes, it's a different area. Alongside SaaS, we'll have to also work on PaaS and IaaS. Different roles will come in. SaaS, we whatever we are learning, this should be sufficient as part of SaaS. In PaaS, technical developments will come in. In SaaS, in IaaS, database side roles will come in. So as per the model, the roles also will come in. But whichever we are going to discuss, that will be there across whichever the module. And then the same one, the cloud modules in the form of a pictorial representation. What we can do, SaaS is just only consuming the applications, open on the web screen, and you consume these applications. In the form of PaaS, you can build and develop. In IaaS, you can host the servers and databases. Okay. See here in the SaaS, applications, middleware, and servers as comes as an package, and you'll just consume everything. You don't have to work on anything. But in PaaS, you'll get applications and middlewares for development. In IaaS, you'll get servers. In PaaS, you'll get applications for development, but middleware and servers, you will not have much control on this. Yeah, in IaaS, you'll get control on servers as well. So that's how it works. Now, yes, we have spoken in length what is cloud, what is ERP, what is various ERP applications, etc. Now let's come down to our main focus area today. What we will learn going forward is Oracle Fusion Financials. What is Oracle Fusion Financials? If I break down this these words, Oracle Fusion Financials Cloud or Oracle Cloud Fusion however you read it, I can say there are four words. One is Oracle Fusion Financials Cloud. What is Oracle? Already we have discussed Oracle is nothing but Oracle started as a database. Now, what is Fusion? Fusion is set of applications. This also we have already discussed. Fusion is nothing but, Oracle has pulled in e-business suite. Oracle has acquired Hyperion. Oracle has acquired AdWords, JD AdWords. Oracle has acquired people like this, several other. It's not just only these four, but there are several other softwares which Oracle has acquired, and Oracle has put in for put in one place all these softwares. I mean, they have taken the best concepts of these softwares, and they have made into an application called Fusion. Fusion is nothing but a set of applications. Now, what is Financials? Financials is an application as part of ERP. What does this Oracle Fusion Financials offer to you? It offers reporting tools. It offers ADF services, nothing but front-end screen, various front-end screens. Meaning, if you want to make payments, for payments there is a screen. If you want to receive payments, or if you want to invoice customers, say in case of Amazon, which we spoke, Amazon is selling services or items to the customers, which means Amazon has to bill customers. For that, they have screens wherein they input, customer information, customer name, address, etc., etc. Automatically, an invoice gets generated for payments. Like this, Fusion Financials provides the front-end front-end screens, and there are several tools that are available which we will learn going forward in order to reporting, in order to pull the data from database and to make the reports. And then for integrations or interfaces or data conversions or data uploads, Oracle Fusion Financials provides file-based data imports. This is nothing but Excel interfaces wherein you put just all the data that you want to load into the Excel, run some programs, automatically data will go and sit into the Oracle Fusion Financials. And this is for integrations and ADF desktop integrations and third-party enterprise application. You can integrate with any other third-party enterprise applications. So this is part of Fusion Financials. And when I say financials, financials broadly has 5 modules in Oracle. One is payables. Any payments that are being made out of organization, we call that as payables. Okay, or any payments or any invoices we receive in when we make procurement or when we purchase services, when we procure raw materials, anything, we receive invoices from our vendors and we need to make payments against these invoices. So these two are covered as part of Oracle payables. And Oracle receivables. What is Oracle receivables? When an organization sells services or goods or items to the customers, Oracle needs to bill these customers and Oracle needs to receive money from these customers. So generating invoices, customer invoices, and making receipts against the money received for the services given to the customers, we use a module called Oracle receivables. And then fixed assets. Any and every organization will have several assets. They need to maintain all these assets information. They need to have the asset number, location where this asset is placed into, which category this asset is, and as per the rules and regulations of acts of the Indian government, every different categories of assets have different depreciations. These depreciations can be claimed as part of their tax calculation. So it is very important for any organization and industry to maintain assets information and to depreciate these assets on a monthly basis or year-round basis, and include this depreciation information into their balance sheets, P&L statement, balance sheet statements, and making their financial reporting. This is very, very important. So for all these activities, Oracle provides a module called fixed assets. And then cash management. What this cash management is, I already I have explained, like when Amazon when we are making payments, we'll just go to the payment screen and we'll click on the payment screen, and through our bank or through UPI or any other mode, we'll just make the payment. All these payments goes and sits into some bank account of Amazon. So how the Amazon will get to know whether they have received all the amounts? See how this works. Amazon, when a purchase is made on Amazon triggers you a invoice. From their software, from Amazon services application, an invoice will get triggered. Against this invoice, we are making payment. We are making payment through online payments or through credit cards, or whichever the mode it is. The payment is going in, sitting into the bank account, but not in Amazon applications. Right? So payment invoice is raised by Amazon, but the payment is going into the bank account, say HDFC Bank. In some location of HDFC Bank account, a payment is going. At the end of the day, Amazon has to reconcile. Yes, I have raised these many invoices. Did I receive payments for all these invoices or not into my bank account? So for this kind of reconciliations, Oracle provides the application called cash management. Yeah, these are the 4 major modules in Oracle Financials, and from across these modules, the data in the form of accounting entries gets generated for every invoice, receipt made, or for our depreciations, etc. Accounting entries gets generated, and these accounting entries, everything goes and sit into another module called General Ledger. It's nothing but a repository for all the accounting information, from where all the financial statements for an organization will be reported from. So basically, this is Oracle Financials. ADF services or custom applications or ADF services is part of this, all the modules whichever I spoke about. So in short, now what is cloud? When these databases and applications are hosted somewhere remotely, that we call as cloud. Already we have seen what is cloud in earlier sheets. So now when I mix all these four words, Oracle, Fusion, Financials, Cloud, yes, Oracle is a database, Fusion is an application, Cloud somewhere the database and applications are being maintained. And what we are talking in all this, we are mainly focused on financials. Besides financials, we already understood as per my previous discussion that there are several other applications that are available as part of an ERP, but our prime focus now will be financials. Okay, this is Oracle Fusion Financials or Cloud Oracle Fusion, whichever the way you want to read it. Then now an architecture of Oracle Cloud Financials architecture. How this architecture is? Say Oracle Fusion subledgers. Fusion subledgers is nothing but just now I spoke like payables, receivables, fixed assets, cash management. All these are we call it as subledgers, wherein all the payments information or invoices information from vendors or the invoices information to customers, receipts information from customers, fixed assets information, everything is maintained as part of this Oracle Fusion subledgers. Okay, now we input information here. The information goes into accounting engine. Through this accounting engine, information goes into the accounting repository. Through this journal entries gets created. Now if anybody is from finance background or people who already into the e-business suite, they will understand what is journal entry. Meaning journal entry is nothing but whenever you make a transaction, you need to put a debit and a credit side. Okay, you have sold an item. Okay, you received some money. You will debit your revenue account. You debit your receivable account, or you debit your bank account. Meaning you received money into your bank account against your revenue. What is your revenue? Where you have received. Say you have bought a laptop. The accounting entry will be now you are making a payment to a vendor. So you bought a laptop. Buying a laptop is an expense. So you debit your expense and you credit your bank account. Money is moving out of your bank account, and where it is going and sitting in the form of an expense. So that we put in the form of an accounting entry for an expense. So debit your expense and credit your bank account. So this kind of, for every transaction that is being made in the Oracle Fusion subledgers, accounting entries gets generated. And these accounting entries get stored in the form of journal entries. These journal entries goes into the cube. We call this an S-based cube or balances cube. All this accounting information goes and sits into this database, from where you can make several reporting, financial reporting center, through different tools. These are several tools that are available in the form of for financial reporting center, analytics, real-time reporting, OTBI, BI, you call it anything. You can pull this data with these tools, and you can make reports accordingly. And allocations manager, this is a different concept. We can deal these allocations later on. Just leave for now what is this allocation manager. So this is an architecture. Now what are these two boxes? Apart from this Oracle Fusion subledgers, if an organization is using any other modules, I mean outside softwares, if the organization is using, even those softwares can be integrated to Oracle. Okay, this is how it works. And then on top of it, Oracle Fusion Accounting Hub. If you want to integrate any other, if you want to leverage the accounting engine of Oracle, thereby you want to integrate any other outside parties or systems, you can do that using Oracle Fusion Accounting Hub. Yeah, so this is a basic architecture how Oracle works. These are the subledgers wherein you input various day-to-day transactions. These transactions goes then Oracle accounting engine kicks off creating accounting entries in the form of journal entries, and these goes and sits into the balances cube, from where reporting is made. These subledgers have several applications, several n number of applications are there. You name a need in an organization, there is an application in Oracle. This is again, when I'm saying all this structure is within one sphere called Oracle. Oracle provides the database, Oracle provides the applications, and Oracle provides the middleware, everything. Now, say if Oracle has to coexist with outside systems, so that also can be done. This is how applications coexistence with integrations. So this is how this works. Okay. This is a bit introduction about how Oracle Cloud Financials architecture is. This you can understand in detail when we start working on, when we start discussing on subledger applications and a general ledger and how the accounting entries are. You'll understand in detail. Just at a bird's eye view to understand, this slide will help you. And then already we have spoke about on-premises versus cloud. What is on-premises and what is cloud? In on-premises, on-premise meaning you meaning whichever the industry or whichever the company is acquiring an ERP, they have to maintain applications, they have to buy application software, I mean application licenses, and they have to maintain the data runware, they have to buy middlewares, they have to maintain OS, virtualization, server, storage, network, everything they need to buy and maintain. Okay, now when it comes to SaaS software, already we have seen these models. In on-premise, you have to the organization will be responsible in maintaining and managing all these parts. Now, this is on-premise. This is for everything you need to buy, you need to maintain, and all the costs will exist. Now, this is on-premise model. And in this model, the organization will be in complete control of all these aspects. Now let's come and see what is SaaS. In SaaS, you don't have to manage or maintain anything. Everything, application data, run a middleware, OS, virtualization servers, everything will be managed by vendors. Meaning, if Oracle is a vendor for you, for an organization, say an XYZ bank has bought Oracle software. So bank, what the bank has to do is they need to pay some amount for implementing the application and buy licenses. That's it. Rest everything will be done by vendors. But here, vendor has to be responsible on all these things. They have to buy everything. But here, in this scenario, vendor has to buy licenses and charges for implementing this application. That's it. In past, but here in on-premise, they have to buy. They need to develop networking. They need to buy storage servers. They need to buy servers. Virtually everything needs to be done. All this will be done by the vendor. In PaaS, what is PaaS? This is SaaS. In PaaS, we get, we meaning an customer will get an option to manage applications and data. They can meaning they can do some to some extent of developments. Say here, whatever the screens are available in the as part of SaaS, customer will be able to use those screens and fields. They cannot use anything apart from this. In PaaS, they can develop, they can manage data. Here in SaaS, you cannot manage data. The only thing is you can query data. You cannot work anything on the data. You can report on the data. That's it. You'll input and you'll report. You can query the data and you can report on the data. But here you can manage the data as part of PaaS, and you can do to some extent customizations, or you can do developments. You can develop new screens as part of PaaS. Rest everything will be managed by the vendor, meaning network, storage, etc., virtualization, etc., will be managed by the Oracle. You will get as meaning customer will get a chance to work on applications and data. Where in case of IaaS, it further increases. Customer will get chance to work on all these, and these things will be managed by the vendor. This is a basic difference between on-premise versus cloud. Okay, now Technology changes from EBS to Fusion. This is helpful this slide is helpful to all those people who are already working on e-business suite and moving on to Fusion or planning to move to the Fusion. So for them to understand what is the basic difference in the form of technology from EBS to Fusion. Servers in EBS, these are app server. In Fusion, it got changed to a WebLogic server. GUI user interface is in the form of forms and JSP. This has moved into the ADF technology. Forms developed on ADF technology. Workflows works on the PLSQL technology, but in Fusion this works on BEPL. Reports in Fusion in eBusiness Suite works on XML, but in Fusion it's a BI. And analysis for making the analysis in EBS we have Discoverer, we have in Fusion we call this as Oracle Transactional Business Intelligence. Okay, so this is some technological changes from eBusiness Suite to Fusion. For the starters in Fusion, don't worry, you will understand this and you don't have to understand what is WebLogic server, and you will see what is ADF. You don't have to because we what we work in the coming slides, what we are, you can understand. So accordingly, you don't have to worry much about the WebLogic servers and all. BEPL, you'll understand what is BEPL. You'll understand what is BI and OTBI as we start as we dig deep or drill down into the Oracle Financials modules. Okay, this is some changes in the name of technological changes from EBS to Fusion. Now, few functional changes in terms of functionality. What are the changes from EBS to Fusion? Okay, here in the form of when I call functional, yeah, how do we access in EBS? For us, we have responsibilities in EBS, but that got changed and we call it as roles in Fusion. And now what are these roles and how these work? It's more or less the same, but we call them as roles, and how these roles are developed and how these roles are there, we will understand as we start discussing on further in Oracle applications. And approvals are managed through AME or workflows, but in Fusion it is we call them it as BPM BEPL. Data migrations in EBS conversion, we call these conversions, we make custom conversions, we develop scripts, and we upload our data when we do the implementation data migrations. We develop scripts as per the requirement of that implementation, and we upload the data as part of data migrations. But in Fusion we call this as file-based data imports. File-based data imports, and Oracle has provided some ready-made Excel interfaces where you can input all the data into the Excels, and by click of buttons the data gets uploaded into the applications. This simple. It was made in Fusion data migrations. We don't have to put lot of effort in case of data migrations in Fusion, but you can understand in EBS we have to put a lot of effort for the data migrations. Configurations, any and every configurations we'll have to make through the applications. We create responsibilities and we make configurations in those responsibilities. But in Fusion, all these configurations was put into a separate area called FSM, Functional Setup Manager. All these configurations will be managed through FSM. Now in Fusion, these configurations are not part of applications anymore, but in EBS all the configurations are part of applications. Again, for the user for the starters, don't worry, you will understand what this is when we go into the modules. But for the people who already knew what is EBS, they can correlate what this is. And in part of reporting, we use FSG as part of reporting in EBS. financial statements generator. The same thing in Fusion, we call it as Smart View or Oracle Transactional Business Intelligence. What this is, yeah, when we discuss the modules, we can discuss about this in detail. These are only few. This is not just only these are the differences, but these are a few major differences. Further differences you can understand when we start discussing about in detail about the other applications. Now, for starters, again, this slide is for starter people who are already into e-business suite. They can easily understand what this is. But people who wants to, start knowing what is Oracle Fusion Financials, for you to expect what kind of job you can expect or what kind of work you can expect. There are basically three different types of projects. One is implementation, the other is rollout, and the third one is support projects. What is an implementation project? Say an organization XYZ is using papers and books for making all their data requirements. Now they want to buy an ERP and move into an ERP. That we call as an implementation project. The organization will buy the ERP licenses, softwares, etc., etc. We call ourselves as consultants. We go to the on-site, sit with the customer, understand the requirements. Accordingly, we develop or we implement the solution and provide the access to the customer so that the customer will start using the application and record their day-to-day transactions. So this is called implementation. Transformation from legacy systems to the Oracle. Currently, whatever the organization is using, the softwares or the ways and methods how they use to record their transactions, all that is called as legacy systems. Transformation from legacy systems to Oracle is called implementation projects. Then other type of project is a rollout. Rollout projects meaning, say an organization is located in 10 different countries. I mean India, US, UK, etc., etc. Now the Oracle is implemented in India. Now it has branches or it has operations in US also. Now and the next year, this year it is first implemented in India, and in next year this has to be implemented in US. We call this as a rollout project. Why we call this as a rollout project? Rollout meaning just we are rolling out the solution that was implemented in India. Whatever the solution that is there in India, the same thing will be applicable in US also. We don't have to do much design for the US customers apart from their local differences. As per their local needs, if there is any reporting that needs to be developed, meaning 80% of the design we'll pick from India and put it there, and we'll understand what is the delta differences that they require as part of their local legislations, and we'll implement those changes. Meaning 80% of the work is already there, only 20% we need to take the requirement and we have to implement. These kind of projects we call as rollout projects. Just copy the solution from India, put it in US and make some changes as per the needs, as per the local needs of US. So these kind of projects we call rollout projects. And the other one is support projects. Support projects meaning already the projects are implemented, already the Oracle Financials is implemented, business is using the Oracle Financials. Now day-to-day maintenance is required. Day-to-day support is required for users and for the organization. Say some users have made some mistakes, or some users require some new reports, whatnot, anything. So in that scenario, we fill in as a specialist in Oracle Financials. We fill the gap, we bridge the gap, we help the business and users, in correcting their mistakes, or if they want any new functionalities that needs to be implemented, or if there anything new enhancements, or we correct their mistakes. We support them in their day-to-day business. That is called support projects. So basically, three projects. One is implementation where you need to sit, talk to the customer, understand their business. Accordingly, you have to design, make the designs and implement Oracle Financials for the customer. Meaning you are designing the software and giving it to the customer. Rollouts, already the solution is there. The solution will be applied to some other branch or some other country, some other part of their business. support projects, already the solution is there and we are doing a support to the customer. These are three different types of projects you can expect. Now, roles. What kind of job roles you can expect in Oracle Financials? Basically three different types of job roles. One is functional consultant. Again, functional, this is just a generic word, functional consultant. Functional consultant, they have the application knowledge, they have the accounting knowledge. Accordingly, they will configure the applications, talk to the customer, understand their requirement. If it is an implementation project, talk to the customer, understand the requirement. Accordingly, they configure the application and then give it to the customer, and then they support their daily activities, and then they roll out, they make enhancements. All this is called functional consultant, meaning we are the front end workers, we are the business analysts, we are the in direct contact with the customer. Anything the customer requires, customer talks to us, we'll have to understand that, and we'll have to help the customer in managing their queries and in helping them. So this is called functional consultant. We will be the front end, or we will be the direct point of contacts. And then technical consultant. What the technical consultants will do? They are basically developers. They develop reports. They develop customizations. They develop they query the data from databases. All this they use SQL and other technologies to develop. They develop workflows, etc., etc. They develop new forms. Say as part of development, the customer says Oracle has provided this payments form. No, this is not sufficient for me. I need a few fields on this. Okay, as a functional consultant, I will understand what are the fields, what is the logic behind the fields, what are the names that are required for the fields, and how the data that needs to be populated, and how this data should go and sit into the database. And customer needs a report. What is the report? What are the fields? What data the customer requires? How frequently he wants to run the report? Okay, all these details, requirements. As a functional consultant, I take the requirement, I go sit with the technical consultant, I'll explain the technical consultant, I'll make him develop this one. He makes the programs, he writes the programs and develop that reports or screens. And then as a functional consultant, I take this development, sit with the customer, showcase him this you know sorry, this development, and get it approved. So technical basically I will be a bridge, we will be a bridge between the developer and the customer. And so technical consultant role will be mere development. And project management are nothing but managers who manages the project. It could be a project manager, delivery manager, depending upon the organization. These levels and designations will be there in as part of project management. Similarly, in functional consultants also, junior consultant, senior consultant, lead consultant, team leader, there will be various designations, but basically we call them as a functional consultants. So these are the three different roles, job roles you can expect as part of Oracle Financials. So and then we come to the last part of our demo, is our course curriculum. So what all you can expect as part of this course? What all you can learn as part of this course? We already spoke functional setup manager. This is the place where you make all the configurations. And then Oracle accounts payables, Oracle Fusion accounts receivables, Oracle Fusion general ledger, cash management, fixed assets. These are the basic modules which you will learn, and these modules will be further drilled down and will have several other functionalities. Okay, but on top, these are the names, or these are the modules you will have to learn. Now these modules have some cycles called, yes, what are the cycles we can discuss in detail in further sessions. we call it as P2P cycle, procure to pay cycle, meaning it starts from procurement and it ends with payment. It ends in Oracle accounts payable, but it starts in another module called purchasing or procurement. As part of supply chain, it starts there and it ends in accounts payable. Now we are talking that we are only talking about financials. Then why this P2P cycle? But though you being a P2P financial consultant, it's always good to know, as part of this P2P cycle, you need to have minimum understanding of what happens in procurement. Procurement is a different module as part of supply chain management, but as part of our course curriculum, we'll understand what is procurement as well, how this procurement works, how requisitions are made, how purchase orders will be made, how these purchase orders will be converted into payable invoices in accounts payable, and how the payments are made against this payable invoices. This is procure to pay cycle. And then order to cash. What is this order to cash? Say a customer, let's take an example of again Amazon. Now I bought some laptop in Amazon. I'll place an order in Amazon. From receiving, now Amazon received this order. From receiving the order, moving the goods out of its inventory, transporting the goods, and creating an invoice for me, and receiving money from me, everything forms part of this order to cash cycle. Yeah, as part of financials, creating an invoice and receiving a receipt against that invoice covers under accounts receivable. But being a functional consultant, yes, you always need to have knowledge on complete O2C cycle, how the order gets generated, how the order gets generated, and how this moves into accounts receivable, etc. As part of we will discuss as part of O2C cycle. And then rapid implementation. What is rapid implementation? Rapid implementation is a concept that has brought in Oracle Fusion Financials, wherein generally as part of e-business suite. I mean, again, people who understand e-business suite, they can understand this as a difference. For in order to implement, you need to put in a lot of effort. But as part of Fusion, we have several Excel interfaces wherein you just have to input the data in all into all these Excel sheets and just click upload, and these configurations will automatically get moved into the application. So this is called a rapid implementation. And reporting, what are the reporting tools that are available, and how data conversions are as part of implementation, how the data will be uploaded into the system. This we can learn as part of data conversions. So these are basically on a higher level. When we drill down further into each of these things, we'll have several other concepts. Functional setup manager. There are several concepts under functional setup manager. Fusion account payables. There are several concepts under Fusion account payables like this. You can go through these concepts also. There are several detailed functionalities under payables, detailed functionalities under accounts receivables. I mean, you can go through all these details. Accounts receivable, Fusion, general ledger. Under general ledger, what you learn. Under cash management, what you learn. Under fixed assets, what you learn. Okay. So these are this is basically the course content. Yeah. With this, we come to the end of our session, of the demo session, and hope you have understood what is Oracle Fusion Financials, what is cloud, and how it benefits to you. Believe me, right now Oracle is emerged as a leader in cloud space, alongside Amazon Web Services, etc. Oracle has become now emerged as a major leader and in terms of ERP also, Oracle has a very good presence and one of the leaders in ERP space as well. Okay, saying that, yeah, all the best. Wish you good luck. I hope this demo helps you to understand the Oracle space, and we can connect further for detailed discussions later. Okay, thank you all. All the best and wish you good luck.